Alright you guys, I'm back. I'm rocking the shades again this week because my blind eye is having none of it. It will not cooperate with me. I've recorded this a bunch of times and it's doing its own thing and it looks really creepy. So we got the shades back on this week. Fujifilm X-A3. I'm all done with this camera. I'm sending it back to Fujifilm and I just wanted to sort of finalize my thoughts on it as a stills camera and then just sort of overall. I did a video already using it for a day as a vlogging camera. I'll put a link below. You guys can check that out. It wasn't great. So as a stills camera, we'll go over some of the pros of this, some of the features and the things that I like and some of the things I don't like. We'll go over what it's good for, what it's not good for, photography wise, and some other things. It's got a 24 megapixel sensor, so that's up over the X-A2, which was a 16 megapixel sensor. The files are usable up to ISO 6400, so it has very good low light performance. The touch screen is pretty useful. I'm not really a touchscreen guy for cameras, but you do have the option on this thing to select your autofocus area by sort of dragging it around the screen. You can touch to focus, you can touch to shoot, so it'll select that autofocus point that you touch and take the shot at the same time. That's kind of cool. I didn't really use it. I tried it out a couple times. I like a shutter button. That's just me. It'll do 6 frames per second burst mode for 10 seconds, and then I think it drops down after that. It has Wi-Fi, which most, if not all, X-series cameras do, but this over the X-A2 and X-A1, this gives you the full remote control functionality that you could get with other X-series cameras, but not with the X-A line, so that's nice to see. You can charge this via its USB cable, which is nice if you don't want to haul the big charger around with you that Fujifilm provides. I really wish they'd provide a charger with just a flip out plug, but they give you this brick with a big long cord, and it's 2017 and that's not the kind of charger people want. You do get more shots out of a battery. You get 410 per battery, and I think I got probably pretty close to that on a full charge, so I think that's pretty accurate. I think my X-A1 does about 350 or 360, and I think the X-A2 was a little bit better than that, so they're going in the right direction there for sure. The autofocus system is 77 autofocus points. None of them are phase detection, and that's kind of disappointing, and that really lets it down in the video department, but as a stills camera with the right lens, I think the 77 points and the autofocus speed are very, very good, especially for this price range of a camera. You have the option of a mechanical focal plane shutter or an electronic shutter. You can run this completely silent, so no shutter sounds, no beeping. You can turn off the autofocus assist lamp, so great for street photography. The things I don't like about this camera: there's no viewfinder, so if you really want a viewfinder, this is not the camera for you. I like a viewfinder. I like a flip screen. I like having the option for both. That being said, I have the original X-A1. This was my very first X-series camera. If you search the hashtag Project Pocket Camera on Instagram, you can see the work that I've done with this. This is a great little camera, and this X-A3 is just basically an improved version of this. Will I be upgrading? Probably not. I've got a little bit of a sweet spot for this camera because it was my first real interchangeable lens camera of the digital age. So it has the higher resolution sensor, but it's not an X-Trans sensor, so you don't get the better noise performance and the slightly higher resolution that the X-Trans pixel structure gives you. That being said, there is a noticeable difference in resolution from the 16 megapixel X-Trans sensor to this. It's not much, but there is a little bit there. If you look at, I had an X Pro 2 last summer for a month, and I've compared some of the files between that and this camera, and you do see the images when you're fully cropped in on that X Pro 2 are sharper, and there is a noticeable difference. Are you going to notice it unless you're blowing your pictures up to be on the side of a bus or a billboard somewhere? Probably not. There is no microphone input. That has nothing to do with still photography, but it's still, I'm not happy about that, Fujifilm. You had the opportunity here to make a really great vlogging camera. Microphone input, front-facing screen. You got one of them right, not the other one. My least favorite thing about this camera is this kit lens. Now, kit lenses in general aren't that great. This one's not terrible as far as kit lenses go. It's got optical image stabilization. It's 16 to 50 millimeter f3.5 to 5.6. You can focus up to, it's within 3 inches, so macro photography is something you can do with this lens. But it's silver, and it looks ridiculous. And now I know there's a lot of silver on the camera, and that's the other thing I don't like about this camera. The X-A1, you had an all black option. So all, if not, not all, but most of the X series lenses are black. When you put a black lens on this camera, it looks silly, it looks out of place. So you put the silver lens on, it looks fine. They give you a black lens hood, which I don't really understand either. This silver lens is going to look ridiculous if you ever want to upgrade to an X-T20 or something that's mostly black. It just looks out of place, and then black lenses look out of place on this body. So the color choice for me, it doesn't really work. I suppose if you got there is a brown version and a black version, so the silver all stays the same, but the leatherette, it's not real leather, changes. So I suppose the black one would look okay with black lenses. But yeah, I would have preferred an all black option, but that's just me. That's really it for the cons. I think they're very minor. They're sort of mostly cosmetic. The sensor resolution thing is pretty minor because I don't know anybody that's going to be using a camera like this for bus advertising. So the things that this camera is good for, that the Fujifilm X-A3 is good for, it's great for food photography. I'm sure that's an annoying thing for most people, people taking pictures of their food. I do it, all my friends do it. We have Instagram accounts with food pictures. And I think that if you want to set yourself apart from the regular food Instagram account, you need to stop using your smartphone. And this is a great little camera. The access to lenses on this camera is stellar. So something like the 35mm f2 or the 23mm f2 or the 27mm f2.8, those would all be great for food photography. It's good for landscape photography, obviously, you know, scenic shots of cities or mountains or forests or whatever where there's not a lot of moving subjects that you need to track with the autofocus. Long exposures and night photography, stellar photography, things that it's not good for. Sports photography and wildlife photography, you know, you're going to want something with a viewfinder, you're going to want something with better autofocus. So any action in general, it's not going to be that good. Overall though, as a stills camera, it's an excellent step up from your smartphone, an advanced point and shoot, even something, you know, with a 1-inch sensor or whatever, or a travel zoom type camera. You do have access to some tremendous glass through the Fujifilm X series. It's also a great second body. That's generally what I use my X-A1 for. I shoot with my X-T10 predominantly, and my X-A1 is just in case something goes wrong. I have this around. And for anybody shooting, you know, an X-T2 or an X Pro 2, if you want a second body, just in case, these are pretty cheap. You can only get them with the kit lens. They don't come body only, which is disappointing because as a body only product, I would probably pick one up. As a stills camera, absolute thumbs up for the Fujifilm X-A3. It's affordable, image quality is great. It comes with tremendous ongoing support from Fujifilm through firmware updates, as all their products do. So if you're looking to upgrade, I highly recommend this camera. And that's it, that's all. Going to Mexico next weekend. I can't wait. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.